Right, can we start with the salawat, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're allowed to reply. Great, let's go over this. So, we're journaling the Qur'an. You've all got introduction, you know the color directory. I keep on saying this, but maybe next week or the week after we will go over the color directory. We've gone through the Qur'an city map. I think we need to go over it again, so hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll go over it. The gates, you know the network is M14, which is the Masumin, through which we learn about these surah. You all know Walzam Qalbi Hifdha Kitabika Kama Allamtani. Hopefully every time you open the Qur'an you will do that. Now again we're going to go through each of the surahs. Surah Al-Fatiha, summary, right? That's all I need to know, just so you know the key focus of each surah. Baqarah, history of faith. You should know this now. It should be coming out of your ears. Al Imran, a Muslim. Thank God for that. Identity. Surah Al-Nisa, the manifestation of that identity shows in how that community respects its women. Okay. Surah Al-Ma'idah, perfection of religion. You also have manifestation of Muslim identity here. An'am, any idea what An'am was about? Practical Tawheed. And people made up their own rules, what was allowed and what was not allowed. A'raf, any idea what that was? Rejecting divine guidance. Okay. Anfal, anybody? 8 attributes of believers. And you can see, it's like a tick box. Tawbah, hypocrisy, okay? Hypocrisy exposed. Yunus, sorry? It's never too late, absolute right. Hud, there was a history of past prophets, but there was something else as well in Hud as well. Do you remember? The basics of Iman. Okay, Yusuf, very easy. Trust. Literal tawakkul, okay? Surah Al-Ra'd, now we come to the difficult ones. 13, change yourself and tranquility only comes from Allah. Okay. Surah Ibrahim, we literally had the du'as of Prophet Ibrahim. Okay. Hijr, 15. Come on, you should know this one. The Quran and the Prophet do not need any outside validation. And then last week we did Surah Al Nahl. Any idea? Life has a purpose. Okay, so reflection around anywhere will tell you that life has a purpose. So today we're going to do Surah Al Israa, right? Now, we have a little bit of an issue about Israa because the way we think, but anyway, let's go over the focus first. So the focus of Surah Al Israa is literally the 10 commandments. The moment you think of Musa, you think of those tablets that came down. Now this is the Quranic version, which you'll find in Israa. It will also tell you what takes you closer to Allah, and it's also known as Surah Bani Israel. Because in 5 or 6 ayat, Allah gives the whole 2,000 history of Bani Israel. We're not going to go into that. Hopefully I'll try and put it on the group because it means going through history and most of you find it quite boring. Okay. So we're going to go look at the first ayah. Subhanallah, see. Subhan is to declare the perfection. Declaring the perfection of He who asra bi abdihi. Now, let's talk about asra. Asra literally means night, a portion of the night. We only know Mi'raj. And on the 27th of Rajab, everybody says it's Mi'raj. It's not. Nowhere is it documented that the 27th of Rajab was Mi'raj. It was Mab'ath. But because we don't know the date, we've picked 27th of Rajab. Mi'raj is mentioned in Najm. That is ascension. This is Isra. And it's always Isra wal Mi'raj. Isra is it happened in a part of the night. In fact, some ahadith say that if you opened a door and you put a latch on it, and if you went out, the door would still be swinging. The Prophet came back. That is the amount of time. The door was still swinging. Okay? But Isra bi abdihi laylam min al masjid al haram ila al masjid al aqsa is only talking about the night bit. Only about the earth bit, not ascension. So do we know where he went? I think we had a big thing that we did for the children. I'll try and send this picture to you. So he's having iftar at the house of Hani. Why iftar? Because in Rajab you do iftar. And that's why big people picked Rajab and not any other month. Okay, so Makkah, he went to Medina, where he led the salah of all the other prophets. Or was it Jerusalem? You're supposed to correct me. He went to Medina, he was told this is where you're going to go. Then he went to Jerusalem, Masjid al-Aqsa, where he led the salah of all the other prophets. Okay? So you had Mount Sinai, you have Bethlehem, that was Israa. Are you good? So now on the 27th of Rajab, you will not say Miraj, there's no A in Arabic. You will say Isra wal Mi'raj. Isra in Surah Al-Isra, Mi'raj in Surah Najm. If we have time, we'll go through Najm for a little bit and have a look at it. And then he says, he talks about Masjid al-Aqsa. Alladhi barakna hawlahu. He has given barakah around Masjid al-Aqsa. All right, it was lush, there was gardens, but the reason what this barakna was all the prophets were there, okay? Min ayatina innahu huwa sami'ul basir. He is hearing and knowing. I repeat again, please do not say Mi'raj, always say Isra wal Mi'raj. There was the earth journey and then there was the ascension journey. The ascension journey where he saw Jannah and Jahannam, and you read about that all the time, that is known as Mi'raj. So first it was the earth. So there was the Kaaba, then there was Medina. So started at Kaaba, then Medina, then it was Mount Sinai. This is where Musa got the tablets, and you'll see it in here. Then it's all connected to him. And then you have Bethlehem or Baitul Ham, where Jesus was born, or Prophet Isa was born. And then you have Baitul Muqaddas or Masjid al-Aqsa. Are you good with that? I'll try and send the picture to you. We have a really good picture. Okay, so that's 17:1. We're good with Isra, right? And you have a sticker called Isra wal Mi'raj. And look at ayah 7. First of all, ayah 2 to 6, that whole thing, in fact ayah 2 to 7, is talking about the history of the Bani Israel, literally in 6 ayat. But it'll take me a while, it'll probably take me an hour to go through the history. It's 2 rises and 2 falls. Inshallah, we will do that some stage, but not today. So the reason why I've picked 7 is it's quite simple. In ahsantum ahsantum li'an fusikum. You never do good for anybody else. You know when you say, oh, I did so much, I get nothing back. Actually, you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for anybody. Whether you're doing it for your family or you're doing it for the community or whatever you're doing it for, you are doing it for yourself. It's a harsh truth. وَإِنْ أَسَأْتُمْ فَلَهَا. And if you do something bad, it's only going to come back to you like a boomerang. You're doing it to you. You can't say, she did this to me, so I did that to her. Well, it's going to come back to you. Okay? And you do anything good, it will come back to you. And this is talking about the second promise. I won't go into it because it is the history of Bani Israel. All I need you to remember is, in ahsantum ahsantum li anfusikum wa in asa'atum falaha. And you can quote it all the time. My grandmother, and this surah is one that she used to quote a lot. This is one ayah she used to quote a lot, especially when I would say it to her when I was very little, that, but I did this. She only did it for yourself. Okay, nobody else. Okay, 17:11. If you look at 17:11, you haven't got a sticker for it, by the way, but I need you to have a look at it. It says, وَيَدْعُ, you can draw hands on it. وَيَدْعُ الْإِنسَانُ بِالشَّرِّ دُعَاهُ بِالْخَيْرِ. The human being prays for evil as though it is good. وَكَانَ الْإِنسَانُ أَجُولًا. Doesn't even know what he wants. He is so quick. And in Gujarati we say, "Padai ruche to munda ukapse." That means if you've soaked it, now you got to do something with it, right? So when they say hajat, and this is a problem, I'm talking about me, not about you. The khojas have a problem, me in particular. So you have hajat. Have you seen Dua Tawassul? By the time you even think about it, they've gone on to the next bit. They don't even wait. So that means you and I have to prepare a piece of paper which says our hajat on it. You need to know what you want to ask for. If I asked you just now, what do you want? If you have a baby, and there's a baby here, he's absolutely gorgeous. If there's a baby, his mom will probably say, oh, when will he be out of nappies? And then when he's a year old, they'll say, when will he start walking? If you have a daughter who's going to school, you'll say you want her to get through her GCSEs and her A-levels and go to university. If she's finished university, you'll say, now I want her to get married. And she's married, you'll say, now I want grandchildren. That's what human beings do. Yet when those grandchildren come, oh my goodness, they're beautiful. Anyway, okay, let's not go there, okay? So here we go. This is the human being. You need to know what you're praying for. Yes, no, maybe, perhaps? Okay, cool. So 1711 is really a reminder of knowing what to do. Oh, I like this. Right. 17, 13, and 14. وَكُلَّ إِنسان, every human being, أَلْزَمْنَاهُ طَائِرَهُ فِي أُنُقِهِ. Alzamna is literally something that is stuck to you, that is attached to you. So every human being has attached to him or her ta'ira. The Arabs, the old Arabs, in old Arabic, a bird represented destiny. Okay? So everything you do is attached to you, like your DNA. وَنُخْرِجُ لَهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ كِتَابًا يَلْقَاهُ مَنْشُورًا. And this particular destiny will be brought out on the day of judgment, and you will find it wide open. Now, just a little bit. I don't know whether any of you at work have had appraisals. They do a 360 appraisal. So they ask the people you work with. They ask the people you serve, and then they ask your bosses what they think of it. Okay, that's a 360 appraisal. And this is basically saying bird's eye view of the human being will be put around our necks. Okay, if you Google or you use any search engine, you will see that the human being has 3 cones in his eyes. They're red, blue, and yellow. A bird has an extra ultraviolet cone. So when Allah mentions the bird here, not only because of the Arabs, but because they're looking at your deeds and my deeds with an extra lens, that's going to be attached to me. And that extra lens is the lens of intention. Sometimes you and I intend something, and we do it differently. I'm a koji, and many times I say, "Kharab lag se nahi jao to." So who am I doing it for? If they will feel bad, then I'm doing it for a different reason. Everybody has different reasons. So anyway, here he's saying, if I can say, I don't know how to put this, but basically these days that has everything about you. Your finances, your pictures, your thoughts, your WhatsApps. That'll be just, the chip will be taken out and stuck to you. Okay? And that's what's going to happen. And then you will told, Ikra kitabak, read your book. Kafa bi nafsika al-yawma alayka hasiba. It is enough. That we don't need anything else. Read your phone. Go through it. See what's saying, right? You are enough today as an auditor against yourself. That's what you will be told. And all you have to do is read it. Now, do you know when you read something? I don't know when you read something. You read something when it's nice. If it's really good, have you read reviews about yourself? Oh, okay. The good ones, they're okay. The bad ones, you want to delete. And that's exactly what the human being will want to do. But we have written this book ourselves. Okay? Israa is all about this. You'll see it. And this is something my grandmother used to say a lot. 1715. Okay, I think it was ingrained in my head. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةً وِزْرَ أُخْرَى, my grandma used to say. And she used to completely repeat it again and again and again. Especially when we said, but he made me do it, or she made me do it. I did it because he said so. And she would say, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةً وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. Now let me explain to you a little bit. I'll try and explain it in the language we can understand, okay? Wizr, I don't know whether you've seen, at my age, we used to have comics in which people used to walk, carry a stick with all their stuff wrapped up in a cloth. Have you seen those pictures? You know, like on their backs, right? I call it this again, okay? So they used to carry, and their whole life used to be in there. And the stuff that was inside it was hidden. The old Arabs used to take, wizr means a load and a hidden load. If they wanted safekeeping, they didn't have banks. So they used to go to a mountain, because wizr actually means somewhere that you hide in a mountain. And they used to hide their stuff in a mountain and make a cross to say, this is where I hid it. And sometimes they would forget where it was. And they would look at, have you ever forgotten your car in a car park? I have. Supermarket car park. I mean, these days I can put it on my map, on my maps or whatever it is, because my daughter taught me. But before that, I mean, every car looked the same. It was crazy, right? Exactly the same thing. So here, Allah is saying, this burden that you have, like look at it, مَنِ اهْتَدَى فَإِنَّمَا يَحْتَرِي لِنَفْسِهِ. Again, the same thing, إِنْ أَحْسَنْتُمْ أَحْسَنْتُمْ لِأَنفُسِكُمْ. If you're guided, you're guiding yourself, nobody else. وَمَنْ ضَلَّ فَإِنَّهَا يَذِلُّ عَلَيْهَا. If you're misguided, you are doing it to yourself. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةً وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. So this hidden burden that you have of yours, nobody's going to carry it but you. You know these excuses you get, but my teacher didn't teach me, and my mom didn't teach me how to pronounce Dhad, she said Zwad. Tough, you know now, no? So wake up. My teacher didn't do this, my madrasa teacher wasn't good. It's got nothing to do with your mom or your madrasa teacher or whatever. On the flip side, when you've done enough for your children, you can't say I failed. You didn't fail. You did the best you knew at that time. Okay? So here basically saying, you cannot stand up and say, this person didn't teach me or this person didn't do this for me. Oh, okay. Good. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةً وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. You can use in your everyday language. وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. And you know what? We don't punish anyone. I mentioned this last time. Allah doesn't hold grudges. But if I know something and then I still do it, then I have issues. Okay. I love this one. And you like it too. Every majlis about parents, this is written. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُ إِلَّا إِيَّهُ. And your Rabb has mandated, wajib, that you will do nobody's worship except His. So, إِلَّا إِيَّهُ. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Ihsan is something, I can't even, I was reading a book by Shahid Mutahari. It's a beautiful book. And I'll put it in our language. So Shahid Mutahari said, if you had £1 and your parents had none, then it is wajib for you to give them that £1. That is ihsan. If your parents went through your pockets and took your money, they're allowed to do that. So ihsana. Now let's see what the ayah says. Imma yablughanna indaka al-kibra. Now the word here to circle is indaka. If your parents get to an old age, ahaduma, any one of them, aw kilahuma, or both of them, fala taqul lahuma uffin. It doesn't say don't feel it. Don't say uff. Uff is a expression of resentment. Now here, remember the word I said was indaka. When parents are far away, it's much easier. Because when they call you, you can say, I didn't have Wi-Fi, couldn't speak to you, internet's bad, I can't hear you, I don't know what's happening on the line. When they're distance away, it's quite easy to say, I don't know what you're talking about. But when they're with you right there, he's saying it's hard. You're going to feel resentment. You're going to feel difficulty. فَلَا أَتَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. But don't show it. Don't verbalize it. وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا. Don't disrespect them. وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. When you speak to them with respect. It's tough. And you know, parents are very clever. They save up what they want to tell their child. Okay, wait till you grow up. You're 66 like me, okay, and you see your son after a long time. You've got all these things you want to say, especially when he says, like he says to me, Mama, you have to live with me. And I go, that's only because you want me to babysit. Mama, but you know, people live longer if they live with their sons. I said, yeah, not me. So, moms save up what to say. It's building up. It's a resentment that's building up. And here he's saying, it's okay. They will do that. They will get difficult, especially when they're in the car with you. But you just have to make sure you swallow. Yeah, take time out, walk out. But don't express your feelings to them. And then he says, that's not enough either. وَحَفِظْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. God, this is hard work. Okay, I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to try and see if I can find a word that is easy for you to understand. Now, it says, lower your wings of rahmah. When a bird is coming towards its nest, it comes very slowly, not to scare its children, and it protects its children. So here the words used are literally for taking that bird. Remember that bird was going to be around my neck. Same bird. وَحْفِظْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. Lay down your wings of rahmah for them. Don't swoop at them. Don't shout at them. Don't get angry at them. You might feel it, but don't do that. Be like a bird. Aste, aste. Okay. I don't know whether you've met children. You obviously have your own, right? Okay. So I have my children. And I tell them, I don't know how to work this particular computer or this whatever. And they go, Mama, just go tuk, 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 tuk. Mama, aste, slow na. I can't understand what you're saying. And they'll say, it'll take 2 minutes. You just have to click a few. And I go, write down one at a time. And then I save up and I say, when you were potty trained, I sat at that toilet for hours. And you asked me a question for hours. Who taught you how to use a spoon? I did. Okay, so you tell them that, but even then, they can't reply back. وَحَفِظْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. And that's not enough either. Sorry, it's not enough. Then in every salah, raise your hands and say, رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. My Rabb, have rahmah on them, just as they had rahmah on me when I was little. Now this is talking about the majority of parents, 99. You get a 1% or a bit psycho. Then you have to be a bit worried and move away, okay? That's okay. Happens. But it's really important to ingrain this in our heads. You feel it. You will feel it. But do not verbalize it. There was a man who came to the Prophet and he said, I've carried my mother from Yemen to Mecca to do Hajj. And I've gone around the Kaaba. And have I fulfilled my duty towards her? And the Prophet, not even for one night's rocking of the cradle. And he said, how so? One night rocking of the cradle and me carrying her all this time. He said, because when she did that, she prayed for your life. She said, Ya Allah, give my life to him, baqa. But when you brought her, you thought, when will she go? Then I won't have this burden on me. So there was a change of the impression of the intention, how difficult it was. It's not easy. It's definitely the most difficult thing on the planet. And that's why he has put so much barakah in there. So much. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Okay? It's not easy to look after an old person. It's really, really tough. Those who are looking after them, we should be able to do as much as we can for them. Young mothers, it's easy because your babies are so cute. Old people are not cute. They're difficult. It's really, really difficult. And that is why, looking after old people is just amazing. Okay, 1745. You all know this one. وَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ. When you recite the Qur'an, جَعَلْنَا بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ حِجَابًا مَسْتُورًا. When you recite the Qur'an, and qara'a means read, internalize, understand, apply, and teach, there is a difference. What is between you and the person who doesn't believe in the Qur'an is a hijab mastura. Hijab is a barrier. This is not a hijab. You know that. We called it hijab, but it's not a hijab. Hijab in essence is a barrier. It's a wall, it's a curtain, it's called a hijab. Mastura, you know what satara is? Satar al-uyub, you know that, right? To hide something. And not completely hide, doesn't completely cover, but it's invisible. So hijab and mastura is between you and them. There is an invisible barrier. If you and I come to a stage where we think, you know what, we are finding it hard to understand or read the Qur'an, it's just not getting there, then we need to pray to Allah to remove this hijab al-mastura, right? Okay. وَجَعَلْنَا عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ أَقِنَّةً, and we have placed on their hearts aqinna. Aqinna is to keep something away from the sun. It's like a seal, so it prevents the light of revelation coming in, like something prevents the sunlight coming in, like blackout curtains. So that's akinna, right? So وَجَعَلْنَا عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ, we've put on their hearts a blackout curtain which stops revelation coming in. And يَفْقَهُوهُ, they don't understand. وَفِي آذَانِهِمْ وَقْرًا, and their ears become really heavy. Waqran again is a barrier. وَإِذَا ذَكَرْتَ رَبَّكَ فِي الْقُرْآنِ وَحْدَهُ وَلَّوْا عَلَىٰ أَدْبَارِهِمْ نُفُورًا. And when you talk about the Qur'an to them, it doesn't gel with them. Now if it doesn't gel with me and something happens or I can't understand it or it's not coming back to me, then I must pray and say, remove the aqinna and remove the hijab al-mastura. It's not pointing at anybody else, it's actually looking at oneself. Okay, 1753. وَقُلْ لِعِبَادِي, and tell my servants, يَقُولُ الَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ, always speak that which is the best. Don't speak provocative words. You know, if you go to a search engine or you go to social media, it tells you what to say, how to say it. We have teachers at workshop, and whenever it comes to report writing, there is a paper we have which tells you how to write something. If you told a parent your child is naughty, nobody likes to be told that. So you need to explain it in a way that the parent is open to understanding and work with you. You may say the child is assertive. You may say that the child cannot sit for 2 minutes. So there are things that need to be said in the right way. In the same way, he says, hiya ahsan, better. He doesn't say best. Ahsan is a comparison, better, because the best words have already been revealed in the Qur'an. So say what is better. Inna shaytana yanzaghu baynahum, because shaitan is waiting for you to say words and he will twist your words in your head. Inna shaytana kana lil insani aduwwan mubina. When you say something to someone, he will make them think you have said something different. It's like when somebody says something to you, and then you go home and you mulch over it and you say, oh, she was talking to me. Have you seen that? I get that all the time, because I sit on a minbar. I don't know much anyway, but I still sit, or I sit here. If I'm saying something, everybody takes a hat and puts it on their head. She was talking to me. I wasn't. So you got to make sure the words that I use that are right. Otherwise, I'll say, she picked on me. No? Okay. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ, and when we told the angels, do sajda for Adam. فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا Iblis, everybody did sajda except Iblis. Oh my goodness. Okay, what happened to him? قَالَ أَسَجُدُوا لِمَنْ خَلَقْتَ طِينًا. Me, I'm so good, I'm made out of fire. Why should I do sajda to something that is made out of earth? What he forgot, and maybe he didn't forget, maybe he knew, but what he tried to avoid was the fact that this was being told to him by Allah. If Allah said, go jump in a fire, well, it makes no difference. This is what you're being told to do. Do it. Don't ask. So just a little bit of information that you might want to put here. Azazil actually means one who is close to Allah, because he did so much ibadah. Right? You good with that? Iblis is one who is disappointed of Allah's mercy. Now he was disappointed because he thought he was made of fire, and how could he respect something that was made of earth? Shaitan is one who is rebellious and deceiving as such, right? So Iblis refers to a particular creation, and Shaitan is anything that is harmful, that deviates you from that which is right, okay? And then if you look at ayah 62, I don't think I've got it in here because I didn't put it down. If you have a look here, he said, قَالَ أَرَأَيْتَكَ هَذَا الَّذِي كَرَّمْتَ عَلَى اللَّيْنِ أَخَذْتَنِي إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. He says, tell me, Is he more honored than me? You've just created him. I've been worshipping you for years and years and years. And he said, you know what? لَإِنْ أَخَّرْتَنِي إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ If you give me respite until the day of Qiyamah, لَأَحْتَكِنَّ ذُرِّيَّتَهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. And I need to talk about that word so we understand it a little bit more about what he says. Okay? So the word used is ihtinak. Ihtinak is used when insects destroy a crop. I'm going to talk about this in a minute, about Shaitan's dua. So he said, I will eat away at their goodness until there's nothing left. Ihtinak, again, good word to remember. So you've got a circle, لَأَحْتَنِكَنَّ ذُرِّيَّتَهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Now he asked for respite until the day of judgment. Was he given that respite? Yes. He was given respite until a particular time. So if Shaitan, one who blatantly refuses to do sajda when Allah commands him, if Allah listens to his dua, is he not going to listen to your dua? Is that a yes or a no or a maybe or a perhaps? My only problem is, mine is I don't know what I want. One day I want this, one day I want that. I have not sat down and worked out what my goal in life is. If you look at the companies, at big companies, look at any company in the world, they spend millions, and I mean millions, to sit down and work at a strap line. So if you ask the doorman up to the CEO, what is your company about? They will tell you. They will tell you without thinking, this is what my company is about. Look at any large company and you'll know what their strap line is. Go to their website and find out. So you and I have to find a strap line. This is what I want. I can't change from nappies to walking to teeth to... That'll come. It'll happen. All that will happen. But what do I want? And if I say, I want Jannah, I'm got to work to it, no? Doesn't work. If Shaitan, look at this. He told him, I want respite. He said, okay. قال اذهب, go away. فَمَنْ تَبِعَكَ مِنْهُمْ فَإِنَّ جَهَنَّمَ جَزَاؤُكَ جَزَاءً مَوْفُورًا. I'll put you in Jahannam. But I will give you respite until a certain time. Okay? And then he tells him, you look at it, look at 65. Inna ibadi laysa like sultan. My servants, you're not going to be able to go over them. You won't be able to do anything to them. وَكَفَارِ بِرَبِّكَ وَكِيلًا. Because they have trust in their Rabb. Please trust that your du'as will be answered. 1434. And if he doesn't answer them, it's because he's going to give you better. And you don't want to rely on yourself. That's what Surah Al Israa says. Don't rely on, I wouldn't rely on my little brain. I would say, give this to me if it is good for me in the dunya and the akhirah. And if you don't give it to me, I understand. There's a reason for it. Okay? All right, 1771. You've got M14 there, I think, on 71. Okay. All right. يَوْمَ نَدْعُ كُلُّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ. The day of judgment will be the day when we will call every person, every human being, every group with their imam. I need to know my imam. فَمَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ. And those who are given their book in their right hand. فَأُولَٰئِكَ يَقْرَؤُونَ كِتَابَهُم وَلَا يُظْلَمُونَ فَتِيلًا. They will read their book and we will not do injustice to them, even of a fatila. I'll tell you what a fatila is. If you ever have a date, most people have dates only in Ramadan, you will find the seed. If you cut open the seed, you will see a tiny thread, they're like little threads. That thread is known as fatila. He says, I will not even do injustice of fatila. So in the Arabic language, it was like not even an atom's worth of injustice will be done to you. Right? So now, why does he say those given their books in their right hand? فَأُولَٰئِكَ يَقْرَؤُونَ كِتَابَهُم. What about those given in their left hand? Well, your books will be given in your left hand. It'll be behind your back. A, you can't read it because it's behind your back. Your back will be tied there. Secondly, you won't want to read it. And I come back to what I said before. Nobody wants to read bad reviews. You only want good reviews. The good thing about this process is that while you and I have life, we can rub out all the bad. Literally by doing istighfar. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atub. If you can't remember anything in life, if you can't remember any zikr or anything, just astaghfirullah. 1,000 times, 2,000 times, just go on throughout a day and recite it. Because not only does that forgive your sins, it will also bring barakah into your life. People ask for amals, do istighfar. Surah Al Nahl, we'll come to it inshallah. All right, 1778. Now here we've got Akimis Salah, establish Salah. It doesn't say praise Salah. It says establish Salah. Akimis Salah. Okay, so establish Salah. Liduluki Shams. Liduluki Shams? Anybody know what that is? Declining of the sun. When does the sun decline? At Dhuhr. Starts to decline at Dhuhr. Ila ghasakil layl, until the time of night. So it's covered Dhuhr to Isha. Yes? Okay. So you've got Dhuhrain and you've got Maghribain. Yes? Wa Qur'an al-Fajr. And the Qur'an of Fajr. It actually calls Salatul Fajr Qur'an al-Fajr. Salah al-Fajr. Inna Qur'an al-Fajr kana mashhuda. The Salah al-Fajr is witnessed because it has, the angels change shifts at Fajr. So when have you ever been in a hospital when the nurses change shifts? And you find at that particular time you have the old nurses and the new nurses and they exchange stuffs. And that's at Fajr. So you have two lots of angels. Okay? Can you imagine how wonderful it is? Oh, okay, I think it's pretty phenomenal. Okay, so you got 3 times of Salah here. Agreed? Just for your purpose, you will find the time of Salah in Surah Al-Rum, that's Surah number 30, ayah 17 to 18. You will find it in Surah Al-Hud, ayah 114. You will find it in Surah Al-Nur, ayah 58, which is 24:58. And you will find it in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 238. These are just extras that you might want to look at, so you will see the times of Salah. You do not stop being a Shia if you pray 5 times a day. I will repeat that again. It doesn't stop you from being a Shia if you pray 5 times a day. It's convenience. Zohar and Asr together, Maghrib and Isha together. If you pray it separately, it's even better because you're remembering him at different intervals. Okay, I love this one. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ. And during a part of the night, فَتَهَجَّدْ بِهِ. Pray tahajjud. نَافِلَةً لَكَ. Nafila is extra. It's extra for you. Asa and yab'athaka. Maybe you will be raised. Rabbuka, your Rabb will raise you. Maqamam Mahamuda. Oh my goodness, I love this verse. So maybe he will raise you in an awesome place. Now, Salatul Tahajjud is 11 rakats. 8 are recited in 2s. Doesn't matter. Forget that for the time being. Then you got Salatul Shafa, which is 2 rakats, and you got Witr, which is 1. Okay, so you can't read Shafa. And you can't wake up just before Fajr. The time is between midnight and Fajr. It's difficult. Read it before you go to sleep. In your bed. Do wudu, go to bed and read Witr. One day you'll go on your musalla. That's okay. So let's go over Witr very, very quickly, okay? We've got books everywhere. It's not that we don't have them. So Witr starts with Fatiha, 3 times Ikhlas, Falak and Nas. Believe me, you'll go to sleep by the time you get to Nas. That's what happens, okay? Then it's all about forgiveness because you raise your hands. You don't have to worry about it. You can take a book in your hands. If you can't, it's okay, it's fine. So there's a dua that goes, La ilaha illallahul halimul adimul halim. You know this dua or not? Okay? It's basically saying, you can say Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu. Say you can't manage anything. I'm not going to go through the whole dua because the time's going. Then you say 70 times Astaghfirullah Rabbi. You can't say it 70 times, say it once. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atub. I mean, that can't be difficult at all. Then you say Allahumma ghfirli and you take names of people. You can't do that? Allahumma ghfirli kulli mu'minina wal mu'minat. I mean, it's not easy. I've got a list of 40 people, okay? Then astaghfirullah alladhi la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum li jami' dhulmi wa jurmi wa israfi ala nafsi ala wa atubu ilayh. You can't say it? God forgive me for all those things that I've done wrong today. And finally, al-af. Al-af means erase my sins so nobody can see them, not even me. So I can't even remember them. The moment you think al-af, think about the footprints of the sand, imagine the sea coming and washing them over, and they're gone. And then ruku and sajda, khalas. You can do it in your bed. And do it for 40 days. See the difference it makes. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay? There's nothing you can't achieve if you do tahajjud. You don't need facials. Oh God, beauticians will be out of practice. Because you will just shine. It's phenomenal. It cures everything. You got issues? Tahajjud. That one rakat has an amazing... And then obviously you've got dua hazeen. You've got all these extra duas if you want. Dua hazeen, put it on, listen to it. You can have it on your phone. It's beautiful. It means the dua of one who is sad. And it starts off with, Unajika ya mawjudan fi kulli makan. I want to have a secret conversation with you, or you who is present in every place. It's beautiful. Try it. Okay. 1782. Sorry, I got a bit stuck there. You know that. وَنُنَزِّلَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And this Qur'an is shifa and rahmah for those who believe. وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. But for those who are unjust, it just increases their agony, because they read about it and they think, oh my goodness, I'm not doing this. Okay. 84. Kul, say Muhammad, tell them. كُلُّ يَعْمَلْ عَلَى شَاكِلَتِهِ. Everybody acts according to their shakal. Now shakal can be form or shape, but in this case it's your personality. Everybody works on their personality, and each human being has got limitations and capabilities. Every human being has this, okay? But even if you're the best of people, your personality will dominate. I don't know whether you watch television. Maybe you don't, maybe you do. But even if you watch programs, I like House. Do you know House is that medical program? And then you have Grace, don't you? The other day somebody was telling me, oh, I know how to do this operation because I've been watching Grace. I'm thinking, train, be a doctor, and then see how you can watch Grace. Okay, you don't learn how to do medicine by watching a program, but you will find that even the most intelligent of people, there is a personality within that doesn't give them sukoon or gives them sukoon. So Allah says everybody acts according to their personality. فَرَبُّكُمْ أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ هُوَ أَحْدَى السَّبِيلَ. Your Rabb knows who is best guided. Sometimes the simplest of people, I'll tell you a story in a minute if I've got time. Maybe I'll go back a bit. And then, وَيَسَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ. They ask you about the ruh. In other words, they ask you about the personality of the human being. That thing inside the human being. قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. It is from your Rabb. وَمَا أُوتِيتُ مِنَ الْإِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. You will not know anything except a little. You might be somebody's mother, you might be somebody's spouse, you might be somebody's everything, but you don't know what's going inside of. You just can't. The only one who knows is Ra'uf. Ra'uf is the quality of Allah that is intense mercy, that understands what you're going through. So if you have a problem, ya Ra'uf. Okay. وَلَقَدْ صَرَفْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ. In this Quran, we've given you an example of every type of human being. فَأَبَى أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ إِلَّا كَفُورًا. But most human beings deny the truth. You know, we justify things. If somebody tells me, you are like, it's only somebody close who will tell you, you are like this. You say, but I was supposed, this is what happened and that's why I did this. You justify it all the time. It's a good idea sometimes to sit down and work out. Who am I? Okay, 101. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى تِسْعَ آيَاتٍ. And Musa was given 9 signs. بَيِّنَاتٍ فَأَسْأَلَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ. And came to Fir'aun, but Fir'aun wouldn't listen. The 9 signs of the staff turned to a snake. There was the hand that he put under his armpit and it became a bright glow. There was a drought, there was widespread deaths, there was floods, there was locusts, there was lice, there was frogs, and there were rivers of blood. Nothing made a difference to him. And went to Fir'aun, and he says, Inni la'adunnuka ya Musa mashura. You're a magician. So he just wouldn't believe. Not much you could do about it. Right. One of my most favorite ayat of the Qur'an. Kulid Allah awid ur Rahman. Call upon Allah or call upon the Rahman. Ayyaman tadu, whichever you call upon. Falahul asma'ul husna. He has the most beautiful attributes. Wala tajhar bi salatika. Don't, with your prayers, don't use jahr, don't shout out. وَلَا تُخَافِتْ بِهَا. And also don't be so silent that it's not an audible whisper. وَابْتَغِي بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ سَبِيلًا. Seek a way between these two. It should be an audible whisper. Okay. So basically, that is Asma al-Husna. Hopefully, again, I keep on saying this with Quran City, but maybe one week we will just do Asma al-Husna. I'll give you a chart, and hopefully you'll be able to fill in the 99. If you know the 99, definitely Ahlul Jannah. Yes? No? Maybe? Perhaps? It can't be that difficult. It's not difficult at all. Okay? Fill one in every day. We'll try and bring the charts at some point. But inshallah, next week we will look at Surah Al-Kahf, which is Surah number 18. Okay? Let's end with the Surah Al-Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين صدق الله العظيم جزاكم الله خير. We will try and send you a PDF. I think a lot of you have asked me a PDF of the PowerPoint. We'll put it on the group, so it saves you from taking pictures as well.